Hello guys, this is my update for MonoRacers. I did a few things on the last, like yesterday and today. I definitely did a good amount of things here, so I'll show you first how the game is looking. So I did the splash screen with the initial loading, and the UI still needs a lot of work. Yeah, but that's one of the next things to do. And now, as you can see, we have a trail following each of the monocycles. Also, we have these indicators in the top of the screen with your icon and your opponent icon on the top. And also, you can see your ladder position. In this case, it's 50, which is the lowest position you can be in the ranking, and a name, which is just names we are providing by hand. I got defeated here, so this button, of course, is a placeholder. It will say something like try again, and if you try again and you win, hopefully I can win, so I can show you. When you win, you will move to a next stage against a different opponent, and then you go climbing the ladder. So let's see if I can win. Oops, no. I'm playing against myself, which is this guy. It's a recording of myself. Of course, I'm losing against myself. I'm too good. Anyway, let's try again. So I can show you the ladder effect. There we go. Oops, that's bad. Oh, it looks like that's good. Looks like my opponent also hit against some obstacle. There we go. We win. Victory. The other guy hits later. There is something here I should fix. Looks like the recording ends before you touch the ground, so this happens. And your time, of course, is better than your rival. So you press this one, and this is the ladder effect. And so each time you win, you climb and climb. And well, another thing I did that it wasn't there the last time is that now you have to do double tap to do the 360, like that jump. So it's more fun actually to play like this, because before any jump will be 360. So this is like a double jump, so you can control better your position in the air. Another thing I did is very important. I created all the configuration for the rivals and so on. But before we had just one track. And now we have multiple tracks. Well, right now we have only one, but it can be instantiated. They are instantiated in runtime. One thing I did is I fixed this generation, the procedural generation of the tracks. So I have to unpack the prefab. As you can see, the track itself, it's a spline, right? So I can do hills or modify the curve basically. And you see these obstacles and ramps, they have this like floor before they appear, and they are like helpers, and so you know easily what kind of obstacle or ramp will come and that's easier to play with, and it's more fun to play like that. But of course, this needs to be generated, and I only click here, set up all the helpers, and they should be generated. Probably they are. Yeah, this one is broken. Now I see. Because the curve is like too pronunciated. I probably still need to do a few fixes here, but there we go. If I just have to regenerate it, and that's it. But I had a few bugs before. This wasn't working properly, so what I did is I changed the way this is generated. So if you go inside any of them, obstacles for instance, you will see they are prefabs, right? But this spline mesh is not part of the prefab, but when you run this setup method, it will be generated, and this is just a mesh, so there is no computation in game, and that's very good, because otherwise the game takes more time to load and to create every track in runtime. So since this is just a pre-generated mesh, this is very easy to this is very performant in game. It's still, there is some serialization here. As you can see, this is serialized. If I delete this and I put rebuild, you see this is like procedurally generated, and the reason is because the mesh filter, when I save the track as a prefab, the mesh filter needs to be serialized in the prefab, and that will not happen. And so I use this script, which is serialized mesh, and the only thing it does is basically save all the triangles and all the information of the mesh. And in runtime, when the prefab is generated, because you instantiate the prefab, it will run through all the obstacles and actually all these meshes that need to be generated, and they will rebuild based on the serialization of that mesh filter. But that's pretty cheap actually, even for mobile, so especially for these not too complex shapes. And yeah, so I solved this, and that's good. It's working really good. I don't remember if I did something else. I did a few things actually. I worked in the UI, but still doesn't look like great, but the logic is there. But we will be adding more UI later, like the actual UI design. So yeah, that's the update. See you next time.